Hi, welcome to my channel. In this chapter, I'll show you how to create custom troops and how you can recruit them. I have a previous video that explains things in detail, so here it will be shorter than before. Now let's create our own module folder and our mod folder. Let's put this inside. We need submodules XML. Troops are contained inside Sandbox core. Let's just take the submodule. Now we need the troop XML. Let's change the submodule to our own. Let's name this our mod folder. And let's delete what we don't need. Save. Now let's open the troop and let's just take the Imperial Legionary. Now in this sample, I'm gonna give this unit a super armor or ultra armor, the heaviest armor the Empire can give. Let's just change the ID first. Let's call this super soldier. We can also change the face if you want. Let me sample it. In heroes, you can just do something like this, but in troops, you'll have to put a limiter, which is the max value. This face preset can be different, and the game will just randomly take from that data. So the max value will be the end cap of what face they can choose. So that is the purpose of this. Give this a high skills. Let's make this level 40, which is tier 7. Now this equipment set means the unit doesn't have a uniform armor. They have a variety, so let's just create a uniform armor for this troop. And let's give this a lamellar set. Items are stored inside single player items, and let's open this all. I wanna take the Imperial lamellar. In case you don't know what's the name of the item, you can activate your chip first here, and when you go to the inventory, you can see all the items there. But here, we're gonna take the shortcut route and just take what we need. This is a shoulder, so this must be put on the cape. This is a body armor, but I want this one because the body armor is 48. Here is 44, so lamellar scale, which is in the body. Labs would be gauntlet and legs would be boots. Lamellar plate, gauntlet, find in all documents. And the boots. Maybe plate boots. Now I want the throwing spear to be the best. I think it's named Jerid. And let's give this a two-handed mace from the Battanian recruit. Sledgehammer. And now we can test it in the game if it works. Let's just put this here. Any mod that has submodule data or submodule XML must be activated first. We can see our troop is existing in the game. If you want to test it, you can also summon them through cheat. Call 2 and find some victim. So the question is, how can we recruit them? We can recruit them in two ways. First is upgrade path, and the second is culture. Let's talk about upgrade path first. Let's say Imperial Legionary. Next upgrade path will be our troop. Now we're gonna take this Imperial Legionary and place it in our XML. Let's exit this first and let's edit to the original or to the applied module. We can paste this here and we won't change the ID so that this will override the Imperial Legionary. Instead, this will be loaded. Let's add an upgrade path. something like this. And let's put super soldier. Save and test. Now, our super soldier is applied into Imperial Legionary tier 7. Now, about upgrade path, we cannot make 3 paths for a unit because if you upgrade that unit while there's a 3 path, then the game will crash. Let me show you. The upgraded one because we don't have enough money, but that's the one thing we can recruit. Now let me show you about culture. In culture we need 2 things. One is culture, let's just paste this here, and a settlement. In culture we needed notable, so let's just make another folder for our characters. Let's rename the folder with this path and just rename this with troop. Cut and paste here. Let's just copy the special characters. These houses, then the notable. Let's take the imperial notable. Let's take all empire notable. This will belong. Aserai empire. So the line ends here. Let's copy this all and exit. Let's paste this here. Oh, that's good. That's a file. Now, so we can save time. We'll just replace the word with search, replace notable empire. Let's make the culture empire 2. Double empire, empire 2. Replace all. Some of them are not changed if there's no notable in front. But careful if you're gonna change one word, for example empire, and you're gonna change this to empire 2. There's an item here, for example empire sword. Let's search for empire sword, but you get the point that empire 2 sword doesn't exist, so the game may crash. Here culture, again careful with this, so we're gonna take 2 words, empire 2, replace all. Now let's search for ID that wasn't changed. here, outlaw, empire outlaw. So let's just take SPC into SPC empire 2 to place all. I think that's all. Now you can save this one. Save. Let's go to culture. And the culture can just take this empire, even though we don't need everything in here. We're just gonna take it and replace everything. Now our culture is empire 2, so that will match the notables, and let's just tag this empire custom true. Main culture is false, and elite basic troop must be our super soldier. If you have more than one troop, then you can put it in elite. Let's just put it in basic troop, just like that, and we're ready to go. We're ready to go to settlement. Just choose a village because settlement now doesn't work in town. So let's take the village of Poros, which is the nearest under this town. This is village Canoros. So let's change the culture to Empire 2. You can delete everything that you don't need, but for this sample I want. This is from desktop. In submodule, let's put culture and what we have here, culture and settlement. This culture and the settlement is inside Sandbox. And we're ready to test. Now let's go to Canoros. Super soldier is here, but I think Temyon took some. Yeah, he took two. But that concludes our tutorial. Let me show you the final look of our file. Here, NST and PC character is called once in the submodule. This is where our notables and troops are placed. Troop and notables. If for example there's an XML here that named something like this, then the submodule will prioritize that and will not load this folder. So be careful with that. That concludes our tutorial. Thank you for watching and please subscribe for more videos.